them to sort of get a buy together with that saved rifle. And you've just got so much boosting your economy, I guess, on that attack side. Oh, that's an aggressive play by Scream.
Yeah, who was saying that it's not going to be played as a duelist? That looked like a duelist to me. This is so aggressive. Fight in from Gambit. They found the entries they needed, though. Trading things out effectively, and Yumpy's probably just questioning, like, how is everyone already dead? The round's only been going for about 30 seconds, but my whole team is gone. Oh, this angle is ratty from Chronicle. The door left open, and oh, it's a freebie. This man is already on fire today. An ace in, what? He's had an ace and a 4K in 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's pretty unbelievable. I mean, saving over that operator, Gambit are situated very, very nicely indeed. And you say what you will about that previous round. I think for Chronicle to show up the way he is, 11-3. Morale's got to be sky high right now. And Team Liquid won the pistol, remember? Like, they had technically a pretty good look to them starting out Breeze, and now they're neck and neck with Gambit having a lot of wind in their sails.
Yeah, luckily for Yumpy, also now has that economy boost. We can see the early Tiger, and it will at least spot the close players, so they're going to be forced back into the site. And in fact, we actually had the Hunter's Fury pop through from Link, trying to catch them as they go forward, but I don't think that connected onto anyone.
No. It's fired out. No targets to be found by it on the other side. It looks like Seekers are going to go through on the A side, and there's a rotation coming in already from Team Liquid. They've read this play entirely. The Shock Dart Snakebite combo that eliminates Shados on the way through the choke point. Nats, though, is able to at least recover something. The Viper's Pit going down to try and retrieve that spike, but a tough task ahead of them. Defo will try to thin out the numbers of the defenders as they cross over to the site, but Nats has to hold strong. And they are rushing him down, running it to try and take him out of this round, already dealt with. And as you can see, Defo, he can't make it anywhere near Cave before that spike is diffused. Good round for Team Liquid as they secure a 4th.
Yeah, Soulcast having a big round in terms... Oh, sorry, Link having a big round in terms of denial. I'm not going to get used to seeing Link on Sova for at least a little while. Yeah. I see Sova and I'm like, Soulcast, but no, not in this case. But yeah, solid denial. I think also like the reason we saw that Hunter's Fury come through so early is just because of how explosive the previous round was. And if anything, he was half right. They did just then explode onto the site behind the Seekers. The pacing from Gambit is almost not Gambit-esque. I feel like this might be something that they've been working on. It's just these faster burst plays that I really don't feel like a Gambit round at all.
So we talked about, though, reinventing yourself coming into the start of this season. You have to have a new look. You can't just be playing the same game you were 2 or 3 months ago. With a 4-3 scoreline, Team Liquid be situated back into this 2-1-2. And we saw earlier heavy rotates to that A site. This time, though, much more aggressive Viper Wall coming down. We saw it before, right? When you have the Shock Dart Snakebite comp, you're always going to have a tough time pushing out through that chokehold. And the fact that Team Liquid stacked up last round and managed to find so much damage with utility, I think they've sort of got Gambit in a spot where they're like, you know what? I don't think Gambit are going to rush out A again. Play the round slower, 2-1-2 it, and they're content to play 0 info. They don't even have control over mid, and they're happy with that.
Yeah, well, I guess you say 0 info. Triple Initiator kind of breaks that mold.
Right.
They have so much utility that will just find them that information instead, that they don't have to be as aggressive as their old composition relied on. Instead, though, it's going to be the other side that's being very aggressive. Yumpy this time will be able to catch one, and in fact, him and Scream have locked it down. The remaining 2 unable to get anywhere near this site, and the trades are in thick and fast from Liquid. It's left all onto Redguard with an operator.
10 seconds left. Okay, Viper's in a great spot.
Yeah, Navira's got to have him.
Oh, if he hit that shot, he could have won the round. That's all right. Well, 5-3. We've evened out. We've ended up back in reality. I don't think I could take another Gambit clutch like that. It feels like every time that we've got guaranteed, oh yeah, this is how the round's going to go. It's pretty much no way back in. And then all of a sudden, Gambit turn into some sort of superhuman animal.
if Redgar had operator clutched versus them, I think I would have just been out. I'd be like, I'm living in some sort of ulterior universe that just has never happened before. One point I do want to make though, and this is in relation to the run we saw from Gambit at Champions. They were a defensive team on this map. Now, it's one of those things where I don't think we can, again, read too much into it. The map has changed. The compositions have changed. The teams have had months to prepare for this, and it's a pick of Liquid. So I don't want to take anything away from them. But versus Ascend, 10 rounds on the defense. Versus Crew, 9 rounds on the defense. Versus X10, 7 rounds on the defense. Versus Secret, they only got 1. But to be fair, they only played 1, and they won 13-0 with a 12-0 attack. So technically, they did win 100% of their defense rounds, but it doesn't really count. So they're going to take a timeout. I do genuinely think, though, this more aggressive style from them is because their attack at times was lacking, like 3-9, 4-8 versus both Ascend and Crew, and then it was a comeback each time. So I'm telling you not to underestimate Gambit, but at the same time, Liquid are doing a good job on this defense.
Well, this is the map that they chose. Look, starting out on the defensive side for a lot of teams is on a map that you know that you chose. Hey, yeah, you're comfortable enough. You definitely put your time in here. Although they've lost the star player, I suppose, of their team a lot of the time, although arguments could certainly be made. The return is in. Defo's down. The playing field evened up once again.
Yeah, and they're all rotating through the spawn. Liquid have done well in their retakes so far. They haven't really needed to overface. The one worry is still that the Tour de Force is available for Chronicle, so he can try and watch things on the cross if the players look to try and make their way back through. Also, this time they don't have the screen, because I believe that's been placed down on the other side of the map.
Snakebite, but Sulka's already ahead of it. Going to clear out the left corner. A lot less angles to worry about now, but moving into the site still might not be easy. If they don't clear Shados, he's going to be able to get the jump on them and completely ruin this retake for a moment. Put a crack in it. But they managed to recover it. Just sheer numbers and better weaponry that gives Team Liquid this round. Still, they've lost a lot more players than I think they'll necessarily be happy with.
It's a weird one, really, because in most cases when a single ultimate is used, you're like, oh, well, yeah, they probably shouldn't have lost too many players. When it's a free operator, you're almost sat there going like, well, I guess you can kind of give them a little bit of slack. That's the weird thing with teams that currently have like a chamber jet comp, is that there can be rounds that are technically ecos that I don't think we can even really consider ecos anymore. Because they have 2 incredibly powerful ults that basically count as a free weapon. So it's a weird one to be in. 6-3 though, they don't lose too many players there. They make the retake work in a 4 versus 4, and now, well, buy back in for Gambit.
It's not necessarily about the strict damage that they should have received, right? It's just that this is the benefit of Gambit coming in with this comp, having your jet, having your Chronicle, as you said. So it's something you have to then consider that, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of rounds that otherwise you would close out.
Oh, dear.
And Nats has just completely destroyed them. Walked into A site, taking a double. The rest of the team joining him, and it's proving to be very easy indeed. Chronicle's mid flank has completely ruined them. And Gambit looked like a fresh-faced team on that one. Team Liquid had no time to even figure out what was going on. And this is kind of where it comes into me saying they're going to be upset losing those rifles. Look at the money.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, you're not a football fan, so this will mean nothing to you. But there was a point where people used like a squid to predict football matches. It would like swim into the, or maybe it was an octopus, I think. It would swim into who they thought was going to win. I feel like that's what you have to do with Gambit rounds, because they went from like losing retakes, like not really being able to get into the site, to winning a flawless round. And I don't really think anything changed. Just Nats walked into the site and then Chronicle did it a few seconds later. Like, it doesn't make sense.
This is going to be tough for Nevera.
Oh,
he's revealed. He's Hunter's Fury. He's pushed. Still gets killed.
Fair play.
All right. I don't know. He shouldn't have gotten away with that. Well played. And maybe a chance for Team Liquid if they can pick up another kill. In fact, with this plant going down, I see shock darts. Nats is already half HP. There's some opportunities here.
They've done very well at killing off that flanking player almost every single time. Nats, though, with the hold, has turn things back into a 3v3 scenario. This battle means quite a lot, actually. Killing off leaves just the flank remaining. They may not know yet, but with that flash coming through from Scream, they're going to know that both players are currently coming in from behind. They've tried to clear out that back corner, successful onto one, but the trade from Shados is there once again, leaving it onto Scream, but he always seems to come through with those headshots. Another round onto the board for Liquid. Their retakes on this side of the map have been fantastic.
Well, that's something that I guess normally I would say you can't really count on, but it is Scream at the end of the day. 7 rounds acquired. Team Liquid do very well. I mean, that was a breaking point for the defensive side. If they lose that round, Gambit should easily be able to push up to 5, maybe 6. Why 6? Oh yeah, because it would have been 6-6. I confused myself. I was like, wait, 7-6? How could that happen? It's like, have I just gotten math that wrong? But yeah, they could have easily tied up at the halftime, and that puts Gambit in a spot where, you know, considering what we've already discussed about the defensive side, they're likely to close out the series. But now 5 being the max, we've seen Team Liquid bounce back. If they can win this round right now, I'm feeling a lot more confident about their next half. But Gambit have gone for a very aggressive strategy, and you can see that pace was not expected.
Well, yeah, this is, I guess, the problem of not having such a dedicated mid hold, is that sometimes a team can just run straight up mid. Most teams won't, but Gambit will.
Yeah, Gambit normally wouldn't as well, being that slow defaulty team. Good shot when that's falling, and Redgar is being dropped. Okay, 3 versus 3. Team Liquid have just been granted a miracle. But the numbers won't stay even for long. And look at this aggression out of Shados. Okay, maybe Sky is a duelist. I might just take that all back. 7-5 at the halftime. Gambit's attack already clocked up a pretty amount of digits. And as we've said, their defense is not expected to be poor.
Yeah, I feel like we almost sit roughly where we should do, in essence. Like, Gambit's attack on this map was never particularly good, and their defense was. Liquid always had pretty good defenses, but again, I feel like they've played it in a completely different way. Like, the way they used to play was a lot more aggressive, taking map control away, almost fighting them on the front. This time they played purely off information. And okay, I feel like there were a couple of rounds where it bit them. That last one in particular being one of them, where they just didn't know that they'd gone that far up mid, and well, a Link got a nasty shock because of it. But it also meant that a lot of these rounds from Gambit, they ended up having to take some pretty incredible risks going into the site, and it didn't work every single time. So I don't mind the composition from Liquid. I'm interested to see how it works now going into the attack.
Yeah, I think that's really where the questions start to arise. And Team Liquid are going to have a quick attack here in the pistol. In terms of splitting up through mid, they're already coming into the B site from both angles. And the TP back over leaves just Viper, who's now being kind of pincered in. Players pushing from behind. Shados gets blinded. Inside of mid, though, you've still got quite a lot of resistance by Nazis. Covering off that cross, making sure they can't get over. And the fights from spawn go to Chronicle with the Headhunter in hand. Really nice coverage by Gambit, not overcommitting to going back into the side. And for Team Liquid, honestly, I feel like they got unlucky in a couple of those duels. They have a few shots connecting to the heads a lot quicker than I think anyone would have expected.
Yeah, we've seen both teams play in a similar way on this B site at the moment. It's just like almost having maybe 1-2 dedicated players, and then just having this spawn spam where you're just basically just making sure they can't get any angle to try and get the spike down. And it's worked wonderfully because, well, if you're winning all of these fights, there's not a lot that your opposition can actually do. Lead diminished. Not going to be a massive investment into this round. And, well, you can see a lot more of a passive hold. Well, I was going to say that, and then I've realized where Defo is.
Yeah. I think when we talked earlier on about Team Liquid about having Yumpy going aggressive, you certainly saw the limitations to what he could do at times. And I think in the position Defo's in right now, it was very much one of them. The spot Yumpy would love to play him before. Oh, Chronicle, a long-range weapon, takes it up close and then gets himself out with the anchor. Nasty stuff for the opening.
We saw him ace the previous second round. It looks like he wants to try and do it again. Only has 4 bullets left in the pistol. Boy, he's going to take one to the face. I felt like he almost deserved that with how aggressive he was being. But again, we just got utility trying to clear a lot of these angles. That's one of the main weaknesses right now for Liquid alongside the weaponry is, well, they don't have much in terms of util whatsoever.
Yeah, not ideal for holding off, having to take all these duels in the open and on range. That's exactly kind of what you expect to happen. And Yumpy's not at a good time there. That's a comfortable enough follow-up for Gambit. Only losing Chronicle, and, well, his weapon's pretty much free.
Yeah, it's a few hundred, depends how many bullets he bought, but yeah, exactly. It really isn't that much of a detriment whatsoever, and I'd be interested to see what he goes for in this round. Is he just going to stick with the pistol? I suppose there's not really much value in doing anything else, and that's the thing. It allows him to almost play in such an audacious way that, like, firstly, he can use his rendezvous to get out, but you then also have the fact that if they kill him, he doesn't give them anything in response. So, it makes things very easy for him to play much more aggressively without the same sort of risk.
Same thing again from him, holding up close, but he's not ready for that window peek, and yet still gets out of there alive. Very much the benefit of playing the Jet. Oh, I think he jumped over some of those bullets. But he can't escape.
Yeah, I feel like that was a little bit of cover coming around. He got a bit lucky to escape in the first place, and then Yumpy just denied it. Of course, this is a bonus round for Gambit. Sure, there's a rifle on board in the form of a Guardian for Redgar, which might be a nasty surprise. In fact, it is an easy kill onto Yumpy there, and now they're going to try and clear some of these closer angles, but the information's been given over to the other side.
Redgar is enough of a problem by himself, and just wait. Oh, is that a shock dart going straight down? I think a little bit of damage dealt. Redgar still alive on backside, dodging all kinds of utility. And Chronicle picks up one in the end. Look, all things considered, this round is successful, I think, in terms of the amount of damage done.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you're removing 3 weapons in a round where you basically just had yourself a Guardian and SMG, so that's absolutely fine. And now Gambit are going to come back in with a purchase of their own. Ultimates, Chronicle pretty close on his, and on the other side, you've got one coming through, but it's something like the null command's one of those ults where it can definitely work if there's a lot of utility and someone you can almost stop. But I feel like a lot of the time, used a lot better when you're in an afterplant, which obviously relies on everything else first.
Yeah, again, it's one of those sort of passive ults. It's useful in certain situations, but it's not something that's going to save a round all by itself and be the turning point. Shados is picking up the opening here, still powerless, unable to pop any of these flashes, and so there was no escape. Either just keep taking the wall bangs or try and get out of there. And falling on the way back, the rest of the team are cleaning up these duels and leaving Solkas to do it all. They don't know where he is, and he'll get one, but not ready for Nats to be there too. It's a short conclusion, 8-8.
Yeah, spot the man who's been doing his aim training, that's for sure. I think he hit him in the head about 6 times. The container a little bit stronger than maybe expected it to be, but yeah, decent round. I'm liking as well the trap placements from Chronicle, because you saw one of them come into play almost instantly. Like, Shados is just waiting for that trap to pop, insta swings, and his opponent can't like try and shimmy out of the way or do anything about it. He just has to hit the instant shot, which easier said than done when you don't know where your opponent is. Ultimate gone, but there's a couple more coming online. The problem is that financial position that Team Liquid find themselves in. You lose 3 players in the previous round, you almost have to take this one as a bit of a hit, other than Solkas, who had a few extra credits.
Well, Yumpy's going to be trying to get some damage done with that operator in hand, but they're not going to commit this towards the A side. Instead, trying to capitalize on the control that Solkas has already got up through mid. That's where the operator's going to be joining him and looking to pick off a head or two. I expect this to be a pretty slow round from Liquid. I mean, really, this is where you just let Yumpy run wild and try to have his own round.
Yeah, see if he can take things into his own hands. Doesn't have anything to help him escape at this point, and it's definitely a little bit awkward, but nobody's really going to go fighting. Eventually.
Second tag.
Yeah, we'll see the drone taken out, but he had to use one of his operator shots to do it, and now they're going to try and burst into this B site.
Good opening. Shados in a little bit of trouble. So many players coming around that corner. He does well to get the triple before falling. Still, that operator, the tour de force in play. looking for a victim on the site, but you can see Gambit are conscious of it. Nobody wants to swing out wide and give those fights away. I say nobody. Chronicle does, because he's got an off of his own. The ultimate trading out, Yumpy, and leaving Scream in a bad situation. I think he might have just eaten that snake bite. And that's going to be a 9 for Gambit secured. Still, to look at the threat posed in that round, Tom, considering the investment.
I love the fact that in most of those positions, Liquid know exactly where Shadows is going to be, because he always seems to be in this corner. Still gets 3 kills. Still gets 3 kills without really any trouble. I also like the small detail of, you see the Tiger looking to round the corner, and a teammate from Spawn does actually peek just for a second to destroy the Tiger and leave Defo in his little lurk spot on the site. It's just those micro details coming out from Gambit that, well, made sure that he wasn't just going to get pressured by someone. This is why I'm scared of Chronicle on this agent.
Yeah. Once that wall goes down, he's got such a good spot of vision. I don't think he could TP from where he was, but yeah, he's going to step right back on into it. Defo's holding control up above. They're about to face on in. Look how many 3 players just down below on the ropes. One is spotted, but the others are ready to peek up above. Defo, he was absolutely in control, and his fallback is even being covered. He's just going to tuck in and wait for Chronicle to come in and assist. Although Chronicle goes down after the 1. It's still a pretty beneficial spot to leave them in a 4v3.
Yeah, I like that setup. They have to push through tube, but an escape plan is set. Sure, it didn't go exactly to plan, but it gives them a man advantage, and now they can get the heals back in onto Defo as well. That's definitely a worthwhile trade for Gambit, and a cool little idea to give them some space in the round. There's 40 seconds left mid, and they haven't left bottom mid. They're going to have to use their Seekers to just try and find out if anybody else is still aggressive from Gambit.
This is going to give an opportunity, actually, revealing Nats in towards the elbow, but he makes the right call, falling to the B site. The wall will go up a little bit late, and he's able to grant vision, and this is a massive problem. The Seeker doesn't quite reach. It's cancelled out at least, so they don't know that he's all the way to the back of the site just yet. And the drop down is spotted. Solkus eliminated. A second follows suit, and now the spike is in Nat's hands. This round is done. Complete control for Gambit, 10-8. And Liquid have got to be kicking themselves. They isolated the player on B. They tried to deal with him even with the numbers on their side and him suppressed. They were not able to take down Nats.
Oh, that's the worst thing about it. They suppressed him so that all of his utility dissipated, and it just proves that Nats doesn't need any of it. Just reposition, even activates it all just as they finally look to kill him off. And yeah, he has to be one of the most irritating players to play against in the entire world. Like, he is incredibly good at what he does. 10-8. I feel like Liquid are almost falling into the traps of Gambit every single time. Look at the way that Defo is playing. He's got a free kill. It's too easy for him, and even hits the tap onto Soulcast as well. Nice shot from Yumpy, but doesn't garner anything from it. Okay, Nats is going to go back.
Yeah, gonna be finding one. You know, not often you see a sheriff kill from somebody playing as a chamber. Yumpy's already out of those bullets. Oh, not quite reaching all the way.
Toxins going up. Poison orb emitting.
This stage really for Team Liquid, I'd look at even where their wall is. It's not granting them that easy access to the A site. A lot of hope's going to be dwindling, but power in numbers is how they're going to default to. Oh, well, that's the spike down. Well handled by Chronicle. Yumpy's low HP, so shouldn't be too much of a threat. But he's Yumpy, so that's on me. I'll take that one.
You had to say it, didn't you? He's still got 44 seconds to play with. There you go. Defo's there to close it out. But yeah, 11-8. And that's the thing, like, Gambit's defense at the moment is looking far more proactive than what we saw from Liquid. As said, like, Liquid were playing with this composition because they had so much information, whereas, well, the power of Jet and what's always been there is the fact that you can go fact-finding yourself, and Defo's just been pushing and prodding them throughout the entirety of this map. You've got Shados there as well to have those guiding lights to find extra information for them when they need it, and then you've just had Chronicle doing this, which, again, like, I think he is making the strongest of arguments for himself being the best player in the world.
I was just seeing the background there. I'm not sure if because obviously we've got this new hood, beautiful stuff down the bottom. See all the abilities and stuff. I love it, but can't see the round timelines, obviously, which is the one downside. But a timeout here for Team Liquid does seem to make sense. Gambit have strung together a lot of rounds at this stage. They've been in complete control for quite a while now. And Team Liquid, yeah, they're going to take the moment, sit back, talk to Sliggy, and try to figure out this attacking side. It's still not... honestly, at 11-8, it is the perfect time because this is about where I see Gambit having a small advantage. But it's not as detrimental as it looks. It's still recoverable for Team Liquid. One of the main issues, though, Tom, we've already spoken about the ult economy of Chronicle and Defo and how they're able to constantly give themselves buys. Well, they also have a ton of credits on Gambit.
Oh, it's so dirty. He doesn't get the kill, but there was no way they were expecting him to just swing back out through that. That was pure panic on the other side. Defo wants to go back for more. He is not done fighting. There's already been a trade back and forth with one kill coming in and Scream able to make it a little bit better, but they still haven't cleared Shadows from the backline. And that was the most awkward fight I think I've ever seen. Another round on the board for Gambit. You wanted to know the timeline. I believe that's now 5 in a row. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Ooh, look at this. Okay, we got a fancy other one. Thank you very much, production.
27 and 12.
And look at this
27 and 12.
Like, there has been one round for Team Liquid, and other than that, it is a streak out of Gambit. I mean, at 12-8, 4 rounds left to go. Look, hope has got to be a hard thing to come by on the attack right now.
Well, that's what I said before. Like last time we saw them play against Ascend in that grand final, Ascend only managed 2 rounds on their attack, and that's with CNED. So, like, let's put it this way. It is hard playing this side of the map. Shados still lurking within. Did he peek out of that, or did he just headshot him straight through the screen? There's been trades back. Hunter's Fury trying to clear out those backlines. And well, I was about to say looking like an afterplant, but every couple of seconds there's a swing from Gambit that takes off another scalp.
Now with this, I mean, Team Liquid again having some promise in the early round, but things start to switch in the other direction. See if they can bring it back. Solcus and Link, shock darts to play with for Link, but it's really the duels you've got to be winning, and Defo comes in quickly. Those ultimates that we spoke about starting out this map, Chronicle and Defo close it out with them. It's 13-8 and 2-0 as Gambit started out strong here in the EMEA Challengers.
Yeah, for sure. And I said it was a bold choice going into what is probably the best map out of Gambit when it came to champions, and Liquid gave it a go. They looked decent on their defensive side, but Gambit just looked unstoppable. So many strong individual plays. Chronicle still looking like, as said, one of, if not the best player in the world at the moment. I'm sure we've still got Ascend to see, which there'll be plenty of arguments to be had with that one, but that was an impressive display. And in a lot of cases, it was almost a flawless display. Like, there were a lot of rounds where it was almost like they just switched a gear.
Yeah, I really does feel like exactly what we feared coming into today. The desk spoke about it. We spoke about it here. Gambit looked good on Breeze. And we hoped Chronicle would do well. Like you said, he did an unreal 28-12 on that map. There was really not a lot going for Team Liquid at the end of the day. That's a great start for Gambit. Our grand finalists of champions certainly not cooling down to kick off the season, but they still have a lot of games. Honestly, though, that's one of their harder games already out of the way. Well, look, Tom, we've talked about these guys over on Gambit. I don't think there's going to be much debate on this, but let's ask the people anyways. Player of the match, guys. Who do you think it is? Head on over to @ValleySports_EMEA and get your vote in. You have 3 options. Those are Chronicle, and... Oh, no, we have actually put other people. Shadows and Nats, potentially. But, you know, if you're not voting for Chronicle, you did not watch this game. That was unbelievable. Tom, you want to put any points out there for any of the other contestants? You feeling Nats
that's
deserves
the thing,
it?
guys. Look, I know you guys love Nats. I love Nats too. I know he's very popular. Love his stream, but at this time it's Chronicle, right? Like you just got to accept that he was the best player today and vote for who was the best player of the map, okay? Because honestly, fantastic performance. Whole team was great though, and as said, like when it comes to online Gambit, we always have a few questions. Like Defo's definitely one of them. He was great today as well. So solid start to them. I'm also really curious, and I want to know if the desk thinks this too. That looked like a Sliggy comp to me. How long before we go back to a Scream comp?
Okay. Well, let's keep an eye on that as the season progresses. For now, though, I think we're going to throw things off to a break. Our analyst desk is eager to get back and break down that series, but it's not the last series of the day either. So don't go anywhere, because plenty more Valorant action coming right after this.
I'm legendary. I'm legendary.
La perte de Chronicle est incroyable. Après Chronicle, c'est même plus une perte. On sait que il est monstrueux.
Once again. You did all you could, but you gon' have to try again next year. All I do is win.
Okay.
Last player standing.
This Viper, what the fuck?
Spike down B.